Well, education and economic success go hand in hand, both locally and globally. The importance of that connection will be the focus of this year's Education Matters Business Leadership Forum, and that's coming up Monday morning in Boulder. Here to talk more about this event is Susan Graff, the president and CEO of the Boulder Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Absolutely.
It sounds like a very educational event. I don't want to use that as a bad pun or anything, but really, what are the goals of Education Matters?
The point is really to make that critical link between, for business people, between a healthy economy and a really healthy education system. So one of the things we try and do is to do kind of a report card on national, state, and school district level education issues, bring in an engaging speaker and somebody who has an interesting perspective on education, and then also talk a little bit about how businesses can get engaged beyond just voting. We have businesses who have volunteered in schools to adopt a creative writing program or to put on a science fair. We've even had realtors that have gone in and painted school classrooms just to make it a more stimulating education environment. So there's a lot of ways people can get involved.
About making learning fun, which in the long term leads to greater success.
Absolutely.
So Susan, you mentioned, this is about education and business and the connection. While it may sound kind of like the obvious, do you have specifics as far as what we know about the connection between the two, as far as, the education leading to people in the business community? What are we seeing?
Right. Well, two things. Obviously, the United States has been economically successful because we've had innovative and a productive workforce. And now in this new knowledge economy, it's even more important for people to have a really solid education foundation. But also, there are a cost to the community of having undereducated people. So in communities where the dropout rate is particularly high for high school dropouts, there are higher costs to the community of criminal justice, welfare, unemployment, even health care. And so, we'd love for people to have rich and satisfying lives. That's the most important thing. But there's actually a real financial cost to communities for high dropout rates. So it's really important.
Absolutely. You mentioned some keynote speakers, and I know in the past you've had some real noteworthy speakers. Mayor John Hickenlooper, former Governor Romer. Who's this year's keynote?
Well, this year we're fortunate to have Senator Michael Bennet. So obvious choice. He's a business person and former superintendent of Denver Public Schools. But as a new senator, he has this key assignment on a Senate committee, which is the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee. So he's going to be influencing public policy on education, which will really impact our economic future.
Very cool. And I know there's another thing, the Race to the Top competition that a lot of people are involved in. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, they're really stimulus dollars. There's $100 billion that's been dedicated to excellence in education through the American Reinvestment and Recovery Act. And so anyone who has a pre-education to post-secondary program that makes for excellence in education, drives education reform, and actually just improves the educational results for students are eligible for these dollars.
Great. And finally, who should attend this year's event, the big Education Matters event?
Well, everyone is welcome. The target is really for business people, but we also have a lot of educators and a lot of community leaders in the audience. We have quite a few people attending on bright and early on Monday morning, but we do also have a couple of tables available for walk-ins. So if people are still interested, registration is at 7 a.m. this Monday morning at the University Memorial Center on the CU campus in Boulder.
Great. So Monday at 7 a.m. is when registration gets underway. Thank you so much, Susan, for coming in this morning. If you want more information, you can log on to thedenverchannel.com. We've provided a link there. Just click on the big red TV button. And stay with us. Corey will be back with a final check of the weather up next.